Good morning, everybody. I'm going to attempt to show you how I make these really cool foam pipe insulation and duct tape covers for your frame. These are really strong. This has been going about five years. It's excellent. It protects your frame when you travel. You can bump it, and you can do anything to it. You can keep it on your hooking while you're hooking. You don't get any scratches. They're just great. So anyway, this one doesn't fit my new frame. I showed you my new frame earlier this week that I stained. And so we're going to make one. So I thought I'd take you along for the trip. Here's the things you need. You need 1 by 3 inch foam pipe insulation. I'm not sure about people down south if you have this kind of thing, but we have a lot of it in Canada because we do get very cold weather. So it's got a good size and it's split there for ease. You need duct tape. Probably can't see this. Duct tape and a pair of scissors. And no rulers, nothing. You know me, I fly by the seat of my pants. So then you need a frame, of course. Here is my new frame. I'm wondering if you can see this. I'm just going to check. Yeah, okay. So what you need to do is take your piece of foam, lay it across your frame, and put your finger there and there and cut it just a tiny bit longer than your frame. So I've already measured this to save time, and you just snip it across. You do the same with the side, just a tiny bit longer, and you snip it. Now, when you have these tubes ready, what I like to do is my impression of Wolverine. Now, you don't have to do this, but it's really cool, and if the kids are there, they will love this Wolverine stuff, so they'll help you. Anyway, can you see it? Who needs kids? Okay, back to the world here. Take your longest one and place it over the top. This. Make sure it fits, and it does. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to eyeball this, and I'm going to miter the corner. So I'm going to take my scissors and just clip, trying to, across that corner like that. That's easy. I'm going to do the same on the other side. See where I left a little area there, which is, I'm going to leave a little bit on each side so that when your rug's on, it'll give you some space. So see how you can see how this is going to shape up right away. And you're going to do the same in the back. Just cut. You can just kind of flip it around if you want it to. If you need a guide, you can do the same in the back. That's probably just as easy to do this. Cut it off like that. So you have one piece, miter, and it fits perfect. Okay, so you see what we're doing here. Now we're going to do a side piece, and so I can pretty well eyeball this to a 45-degree angle, and just going to clip it, snip it there. And try it on for size. And look at this. Pretty cool, right? Don't worry about this, because we're going to cover this with tape once it's finished, and it's going to kind of, you need a little bit of kind of breathing space so that it's not too tight around your work. And then you just kind of eyeball the same here. Can't really see the corner, but I'll turn it this way. hoping you can see this. And then I'll do the same on the inside. This one is longer, so we know we're going to have to cut it off. That's all right. Oh, that one is okay. Let's do it this way. And I'm just going to adjust it a little bit here, just so that it fits a little bit better in there. And take off just a little bit in the corner. It's not coming in quite enough, so time to, there we go. That's a better fit there. And we're going to do the same with the other piece. You probably don't need to watch me do this, but I think it's easier for me to just let it roll than to try to set it up again. So I'm going to eyeball this angle. Hope it's good. It looks good. Watch you don't pick yourself. Come across here. I'm going to shorten it some. Doesn't need to be. Needs a little bit more. And I'll just match that underneath. Put it on. This is overhanging a little bit. So I'm just going to see how accurate you have to be, right? You know, who cares what's under there? My mother used to scream when I used to sew as a young girl and make a skirt. She would look inside my skirt. She was a seamstress, so of course the inside had to look as good as the outside. And I really did not care what it looked like on the inside. So I had threads everywhere, and she would just really get irritated with me. But once the fun was over for me, that was it. I didn't want to do it anymore, so I wore it that way. She just turned her back, told me not to tell anybody who I was and who her mother was. And so who cares what's on the inside? Life's too short for that. Especially if you're a creative person. You just want to go and do it. So, okay, so we're almost ready to duct tape, but you can see there's a few places here that need to be adjusted, so I just put it over the top one, like that, so it's fitting better, and then just kind of, there, now this is pretty close. You don't have to be anal about it because you're going to need to have some openings in order to get this on and off. So, what normally I do, but I'm going to put the tape on first. That'll save time, and then it'll show you, but we're going to have to cut most of this back away, probably to there. We just need enough for it to go around. Otherwise, it'll bring your linen in a little bit too tight. So, I think this is close enough to start duct taping. So, it's easier if you have another hand. You probably can't see me. Just a second here. Just take your duct tape and start anywheres. I'm going to start here and lay a nice layer just on the side like this, smooth as you can. Up in Canada, we use duct tape for everything. It fixes everything. It's useful. And now they have these sexy colors, so it's great. My other one is leopard skin. This one is going to be zebra skin. I'm going to hold it together a little bit more here. And there. So the first layer is there. I'll just leave that open so I don't lose the edge. And there's different ways you can adjust this by just taking the snip so that it doesn't, or you can push it in however you want. It doesn't really matter at this point because this is not the top layer. This is not my original idea. I got it on Pinterest. Well, maybe not Pinterest because it was about 5 years ago. So, okay. So now that's intact. I'm going to put another layer across the top. Same way. But I'm going to try to work it around the corner a little bit better. And this is where I probably, you can cut it. Or you can just, I'm just going to snip it and turn it. Whoops. It's easier with two people, believe me. But nonetheless, once this stuff sticks, it sticks. I'm just going to do this again. Better. Now, my other person would have been holding this, but since I'm alone, I'm going to cut it because I don't want that big wrinkle on the top. So I'm just going to continue there. On the top. This is going to be really sexy. Hookers need sexy things. Get that there. Get it going. I can always come back to this corner and fix it up. See how that's looking? Corner once around the corner like this. Person who started at the corner might have been easier, but good. And this again, and then I'll show you what we do to deal with the corner. I hope you can hear me, and I hope the video's even on, because I'm not doing it again. Technology is amazing when it works, but when it doesn't, I'm just going to check. I believe I'm recording. There's a little square red thing there, so there we go. That looks pretty good. This side looks good. And this side, I'm going to cut into there. Straighten it out a little bit. Now, my friend Beverly Shepherd, who you know from our group, she's been doing wonderful work. You've just seen her hit and miss in the Willie Mason jar colors. She gave me a really good tip, and she gave me this little earth magnet. And this would be the time to put it on. You just slide it right under here and tape it in with your tape. So you don't see it. It's just a little magnet in the corner, but your scissors and your hook will connect to it. There. How's that looking? Pretty good. So now is where I'm going to trim away the back. And you'll see. You could probably do it right on the frame. Just following the base of the frame like this. Doesn't really have to turn under, it just has to sit on the top. Because it's curled in on the inside, it will. And then we're going to put some more duct tape. Hoping you can see this. Better check. You're not allowed to look at my mess. And one more side. Okay. So, here's our frame cover. Now, probably going to shave a little bit of this off here. I got the shakes now. Being a superstar is not easy. First time I've done my Wolverine impression on camera, so I'm expecting Hollywood to call anytime. There we go. So, now what you might have to do, you can put a little more. I usually like to fill in the insides a little bit just to make it look a little better. But it's going to get tight here, so you'll want to release it a little bit on the corner like that, so that when you do have a heavier piece of linen on there, it'll stay on. Which right now it wants to come off. So I just snip that. And often I'll have, you know, if it's too tight in here or too much foam, just do your thing. Snip off what you think needs to be snipped off, and now this will come on and off. It needs another layer of tape. Now that I've opened it up like this, when I tape over it, I'll leave, well, I'll show you. I'm hoping you can see all this. Go around again, I'm going to kind of hide that, but I'm going to, make sure it's on. I'm going to leave it open there. And it just kind of looks prettier that way. And I just push it in. This top layer of tape is going to really make it so much stronger. See, I'm leaving it open there underneath. I'm not trying to pull those together. It's probably an easier way to do this, but this is how I've done it. We have a lot of people around here that have these, and they love not having the pain of it all. There's probably enough in the front. I'm not going to fool around with it, like on this part. I'm going to put my... Now, if it gets loose or anything, I've never had to adjust mine. But some people found it got too tight, so you just adjust it with your duct tape. Loosen it up in a seam and add some duct tape. So, now I am ready to put my linen. I'll fix this up. Okay. Evangeline, you've all seen me working on this. I think I need to be over here for you to see. So now when you have this in your car, you're transporting it to cook-ins. I'm going to have to snip the corner again. You can do anything to this. You're not going to hurt your grippers. You're not going to hurt anyone. You're not going to snag anything. So, put your linen in. And I will work with this on here now. Oh boy, she looks good now. Need to snip it on too tight with the tape. Simple adjustment. Boom. Now, this is going to have to come out because it's pushing the linen in and it's making it tight. So I'm going to take that off. And you just do that with your scissors. Just going to take a good 1/2 inch because it wants to curl in. And it isn't necessary to do that. This side too. It's pushed in under. See under here? Maybe adjust it a little bit there. And I'll take a 1/2 inch strip off there. And if you're careful and not trying to do it too fast, like I am, it will look nice. Okay, so now we'll put this on. One side. See here where that's pushing in? It has to go. Goes on there, and of course, I guess I got a little too tight on the corners, and there we go. There we go. Now you shouldn't do this with your linen in the frame because, boy, would I ever be upset if I had an accident and cut into that linen. But don't do what I do. Do what I say, sort of thing. So. Some of this corner, which is making it really tight, but it's up to you. You just adjust whatever you feel is necessary to get your good fit. So there, I'm pretty happy with this. I'm going to take this little edge off, and so there you go. And when you want to move your linen, you just take this off and you'll just put it back on whenever you transport it or whatever. So there you go. Duct tape, foam piped insulation, and the Willie Mason jar. My husband said you have to put in a plug for the Willie Mason jar. So there you go. The Willie Mason jar. Ta-da!